Hey guys, I decided to record one of my Smogon Masters sets since a few of my friends have been asking. And this round we're facing Star, who's a really good player in a lot of different gens. So yeah, I thought this would be a fun one to record. Alright, so let's get into game one. Have fun. Has he used this team before? Let's see. No, he is not. Nidoking can be good here, kind of depends on the Heatran. Ferrothorn spikes are good. Zard is a threat. Could be Synthesis. Could also be Defog. Synthesis Serp. Could also be Defog Mew. I would guess this is a Zard Y, but it is hard to say. Okay, so of all his leads, Lopunny looks good into most of them. Heatran setting Stealth Rock is going to be kind of tough to accomplish, I think. Mew is kind of annoying, but that's one of the things I can get rocks on. You could lead with Serp. I'm just going to lead with Lopunny. Now, if you have Protect, you might go for it here. If you don't, you'll switch out into something like Mew. How much am I doing to a Mew? I do a fair amount. I think I'm just going to go for that Frustration. Oh my goodness, he's Scarf Heatran. Not what I expected. That is pretty bad. That pretty much means I'll have to click Healing Wish. Could go to my own Tran, but he could go to Gliscor fairly easily. Could also go to, like, his Mew. No, because he's expecting my Heatran to come in. I don't think he'd want to just let Tran come in. So I'd expect that he's going to Glisk. He doesn't. I can go for one Heat Wave here. He could go into Drill. He could also go into Gliscor here. He might just go into his Mew. Does go Glisk. He's not Poison Heal, which is rather abnormal. I'll just go for the Hidden Power. Maybe that was some type of hyper offense lead. Well, rocks into Healing Wishing Lopunny could be very good here, basically. Now, do I let this stay in? Or do I immediately go to Laddie? think I can just stay in here. He goes Zard Y and clicks sub. Interesting. At this point, I could go into my own Heatran and get rocks, which I think that's my play, because I don't think defogging is really in the cards for me. Hopefully he's not hidden power ground. Yeah, there's the Focus Blast. Now I think Laddie is my play. Focus Blasts and misses. Now if I'm you, I probably don't stay in here. I think I am going to go for the Healing Wish. Thank goodness he didn't go for the substitute here. That would have been pretty bad. Alright, I'll Fake Out. Goes Drill. Is this going to be Scarfed? Looks like it. I can go Zapdos here. I think that's a fine play. He could also spin, though. And if I can prevent, and if I can punish that, I think I want to, so. I'll only be able to set up rocks again if that Heatran comes in and locks itself into a fire move. Mew comes in. This is the Mon that I'm probably most scared of. I could go into Nidoking here. Taunt knockoff would be pretty annoying. I can go into Zapdos once. Goes for a Psyshock and does 31. Okay, I can go into Pharaoh here. I don't know if you would be Taunt or not, but I can go for a Spike. And I kind of have to go Tran here. He's Life Orb. If he has Hidden Power, that's probably just going to do it here. But I still don't think I can let this thing go. Alright, I'll go for a Fake Out. Did 32. So frustration should be enough to get the KO here. The real threat is that substitute Zard, honestly. Now, if I think you're going for a fire move, I can just go into my Ferrothorn here, I think. But if I think you're not going for a fire move, is Nidoking the right play? If I go Nidoking as a mid-ground, that seems decent. So now I do get Heatran in. And I can either go for a Rocks or a Toxic here. I think I'll go for Rocks. Not really the... I go for one Plume. Alright, doesn't work. Lopunny comes out. I just go for the frustration, I think. Quick Attack should be able to do it. Yeah, this is looking really tough. Though maybe with enough Rocks damage. I think it's a 50-50. He got me. I think he got me. Yeah. He only has to get a fairly low roll on Flamethrower to KO, so... Yeah. Good game. Yeah, really close. We'll move to Gen 7 next. Okay. If Celesteela gets eliminated, then my Lele really goes in. Hasn't used the team before. Well, my instinct is to lead Tapu Lele. He's probably going to lead maybe Keldeo, maybe Greninja. Chance he leads Celesteela, but I doubt it. I'm gonna say he leads either Keldeo or Greninja. And I think to that Lele is okay. Hydro Vortex can KO me. I am just going to go for... I think I'll go for a Psyshock. Celesteela comes out and he finds out I'm Specs. That could be like an autotomized Celesteela. Would you switch into Greninja here? Or would you go for the autotomize? He does go to his own Greninja. I'm actually... He could be Scarf and click U-turn here. It's not the most ideal. I don't see any defog though. I'm just gonna go for a Spike. Interesting, okay. So he could have Ice Beam here. It's kind of a speed tie though. I don't think you run Toxic Spikes U-turn, so I think I'm going to go Magearna. This beam did 17. Okay, I'm going to go for a Floor Cannon. Sash. What would you do here? Probably set up a regular Spike. Lando T comes out. I think this is just my own Lando. I could also consider going for the Z Twinkle Tackle here. I don't know if it's time for that yet, though. He goes for the EQ. I think he's got to be going for Rocks here. Keld comes out. I'll go Gren. Surf does 41. I'll go for Gunk Shot here. Do manage to connect. That's good. And here I can go Kartana and click Knockoff or Sacred Sword. I feel like knock is probably just my play. I think I'm just going to go Lando here. Mawwile's looking decent in the end game. I comes. Probably I'm just going to go Lele here. Psychic does a lot, but I'm going to get a KO with Moonblast. Actually, he should always sack Keldeo here. So I think I'm going to go... Do I go Magearna or Lando? Or I can go Kartana. See, the thing is, Magearna can win, though. I think I'm actually just going to go for a Moonblast. And I think here I can go for a Smart Strike with Kartana. Is it better just to go for a knock? I think I'm just going to go for the Smart Strike here. That is really defensive. Wow. Alright, so I think I kind of have to go Mawile here because he can actually KO me. With a Focus Blast. And yeah, there's the taunt. Alright, at least I got that. Lando T. I think I can go into my own Lando T or my Magirna. I think I gotta go Magirna here. Flamethrower. Now I need to go into my Mawile and get another Sucker Punch mind game, I think. Because you could have Leech Seed here. I think I go for the knock. I'm thinking the Reuniclus was Z. I'm just going to go for a knockoff here. Okay. So we managed to take the Gen 7 game, and it's going to come down to Gen 8, which you'll see in a moment. Okay, so Gen 8. Blaziken does look quite good here. An SD, Blaziken looks great. Kartana Future Sight looks decent too, but I have to predict fairly well. I think his Tornadus is a pretty important mon for him, so I don't know if he would want to give it up easily. Ferrothorn Spikes are going to be kind of problematic. I think I can honestly lead Tran, because if he leads something else... If he leads something other than Torn, or Pharaoh, I can kind of go Lando. Now, my biggest worry would be substitute Rotom on this team, which is a thing I've seen on Sand teams before. I think, is Tran an ideal lead? I feel like it is. Let's see what he leads with. He does lead with the Rotom. I think I'm just going to go for the rocks. Okay, he does miss Pump, which is fortunate. I'm going to go for the Toxic here. Hopefully we hit. I'm going to Tect now. Now, I don't know if you'd go for another Pump here. Regardless, though, I feel like Slowbro is a fine play. I can just go into Lando here. He could be like CB Ice Punch or something, but at least that will be good info. Goes for a Stone Edge and misses. I think my best play is just to click U-turn. And probably get in Blaziken here. And I think I just want to SD. Is that greedy? I'm going to protect once. Actually, no, I don't think that's necessary. Although I guess he could be... No, he's not Scarf. because he came in on rocks. But I think it's fine, because, like, how does Blaziken lose from this point? It's protecting on, like, an Excadrill sub or something. So I'm just going to go for the Flare Blitz here. Burn is kind of nice. I don't want him to do anything funny, so I'm just going to click Blitz again. Buzzwole comes out. Again, I'll just click Blitz. And this time I'm going to click Protect one more time, just so the sand runs out. Drill comes out. For Drill, I can just go for the close combat. And yeah, he figured out he lost to Blaziken. Yeah, the start was lucky. Good games. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I'll see you next time.